Hello, happy campers. I'm Spike.
I'm Chris.
We are geeking out, and this is our second aftermath of the week. I do this under duress, I must confess. Not my idea. This one. We have already done one episode of Aftermath. Aftermath is Geeking Out's movie review show. We've already done one episode this week on Across the Spider-Verse. Definitely worth the effort. Both of us give it 4s just because it was a little dialogue heavy. Okay, so if you want to see that, the link's around here somewhere. This time we're going to talk about the Little Mermaid remake. This one, I did most of the talking on Across the Spider-Verse because he's got to explain himself. He not only did he watch the Little Mermaid remake,
don't give it the...
he liked it. No. I said this in the last episode. If you're going to advertise a car wreck, advertise the car wreck. So please, by all means, you explain yourself. I'm about to walk out the door and have a good stiff drink, having to deal with this our own. By all means, tell them. Explain to the people why would you betray us like this? Why would you even give this the time of day?
All right. So here's the first. Hold on. Listen. Okay. First of all, I thought I would go see this movie to at least have a good laugh. In case you guys don't know, there's a whole bunch of controversy about the film and, blah, 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 blah. Nobody was really looking too forward to, except unless they're like a little kid, maybe, but nobody was really looking forward to this movie. Also, I wanted to go see this movie to see how bad it was because Disney has had this huge track record where they take animated classics and turn them into live action movies, and they're all garbage except for The Jungle Book, which I honestly say
was garbage to begin with.
No, that was a good movie.
Oh wait, that was me saying that. Never mind.
That was a good movie. Anyways. Jeez, this guy. But anyways, that was the idea. Go, have a laugh, see how bad it actually is. That way I can sit here and tell you guys how awful this movie and terribly how just a crap show it actually was. And I cannot. Listen. I have theories about why I feel this way.
Because you're drunk?
No, I was not drunk.
High?
I was not high.
Are you hallucinating?
Probably.
Mental breakdown?
Maybe.
Aneurysm?
A whole lot. Anyways. Or you
I threw him off. I do that.
Yeah, you did.
Okay, Little Mermaid.
So, listen. This movie, of course, is like what I don't know how many remakes that they have done so far. This is number probably
they have done
20 something.
Every remake, yes.
This was actually surprisingly good, and I'll tell you why. One, there's new songs in it. Prince Eric actually has a song that he sings in it that wasn't actually too bad. All the music, of course, other than the original songs, was written by Lin-Manuel Miranda. And I know I butchered that name because I always do.
Lin-Manuel Miranda.
The
Hamilton guy.
Yes, the Hamilton guy. So, of course, you already know the story, so I'm not going to give you the plot. But the reason why I actually enjoyed it was it didn't seem like for some reason it felt like it was fresh to me instead of the same old stick,
Mm-hmm.
It felt like I was watching something new. I still remember a lot from the original that they added some new scenes in this movie that made it felt like it was standing on its own. Now, the two people that honestly stole this movie that actually deserves a whole lot of talk is Melissa McCarthy as, of course, Ursula. Actually did a really good job of mixing the little humor and evilness that the original Ursula pretty much gave. And, of course, and I'm going to try myself really hard not to say Halle Berry. Halle Berry. Bailey. Berry. What?
Halle Berry.
The new mermaid.
The chick with the rack. Yeah.
I kid you not. This girl did an amazing job as Ariel. Okay. Her voice sounded just like the original Ariel. I kid you not. Like, it's just like, well done. She's going to go places, maybe. I don't know. She might. But there is like very little that I did not like about this movie. There's two scenes that I had issues with. The ending part where Ursula gets the trident and she grows big. It looked like the CGI on her face was a little
That's been a common complaint about Disney and their artist group lately. They've been really slacking on the CGI.
Yeah,
apparently they're cheaping out.
Probably. They fired a bunch of people, so.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that part, and then there's another part at the beginning of the movie with the bird. What was the bird's name?
Bird. I don't know. I don't care.
Well, anyway,
that bird.
He's a stork.
Gully, yeah. Seagull or something.
Seagull. But anyway, there's a part where he goes underwater to catch fish and runs into Ariel, and they have this huge conversation, which really took me out of the movie because it's like, how is this bird breathing underwater and having a full-blown conversation underwater, you know? And then I found out that apparently those type of birds can actually hold their breath underwater long enough to... But still, if you don't know, if you're not a bird person, it's going to take you out of the movie, you know? It's like birds don't belong underwater talking, you know?
Unless it's Happy Feet.
Well, they're penguins.
And they do come out of the water to talk.
But, you know, I'm just saying, it was a little weird. But anyways, now I'm going to get to the controversial stuff. One of the biggest well, it's not a big controversy, but they're talking about how, like, King Trident had, like, I don't know how many daughters of different race, okay? Mm-hmm. I'm just going to put this out here, okay? Every single daughter is from a different continent that he was there, but he's King Trident. He's the king of the sea, okay? Mm-hmm. So pretty much he's like a fish god, all right?
Pretty much he's smacking around.
Yeah.
Rolling around.
And not to mention he's a fish. But you know what the difference is between him and regular humans? He stayed around. Just saying, he stayed around. And when Ariel got in trouble and he needed all of his children's help, every single one of them swam right there and was ready to help. They were a big part of this movie as well. So, just saying, you know, calm yourself, okay? Not many fathers stay around. He did, and he had a bunch of them. Just saying.
Because the moms are nowhere to be seen. Anyway. I mean, what's a human mother going to do with a half-fish daughter? Put her in a sardine tin or something?
Probably. But there's like, it did reimagine this movie, and I have theories. First of all, when I came out of the movie, I had this weird feeling, like I've never had a movie do this to me. I didn't hate it, I didn't love it, but it was way better than what I thought. So it made me kind of just like, when I was asked, so what did you think of the movie? I didn't know what to tell them. And I was like, is there something wrong with me? And then I was seeing all these articles where people were coming out going like, I don't know how to feel about this movie. Like, I actually like it. So I'm like, oh, so I'm not the only one. There's critics out there that has watched this movie and felt the same way.
Yeah, it's so adequate, it's okay.
Yeah, so
That's the way you put it.
So here's the thing. I have conspiracies about why I feel the way I do about this movie. Okay? So one theory is maybe I'm losing my mind. Second theory is a little bit more realistic, is that Disney has done thousands of Cinderellas, thousands of Sleeping Beauties, thousands of Snow Whites, that every time they redo it, you're just like, oh, there's another one. This is the first attempt for a Little Mermaid movie ever. Over that many years, there has been cartoon series, but that's like right after the movie came out, you know? But this is the first. And I'm like, maybe that's it. Maybe that's why it feels so fresh. Even though I still remember a lot. I like the plot, the scenes, the music from the original. This and them changing up the scenes a little bit is probably why it feels like it stands on its own. So I'm thinking maybe that's the reason why I actually like this movie way more than what I probably should. Maybe. I don't know. Now,
It's the first one. You're nuts.
oh,
You're nuts.
yeah, no.
Saying this was the best of the live action remakes is like celebrating the fact that you're the first one to only be ankle deep in the sewage.
I mean, if you take a look at the track record that Disney has had, like, they're coming, like, for instance, they're doing a live action Lilo and Stitch. Lilo and Stitch does not seem to be that old enough to go directly to a live action movie. You know? It's like, why are you? They're already casting people for How to Train a Dragon movie, and it seems like that just came out like a few years ago, and it's like, you guys need to stop. You need to stop.
We've talked about creative bankruptcy before.
Yeah, and it's just it's really getting annoying. But
Yeah, we'll discuss that in a little bit when I give my counter.
it's just the fact that maybe it's because they haven't done this movie enough to the point where that's probably why I like it more than what I should. They're making fun of a song in there called Scuttlebutt. I got to admit, it was way out of place, but I loved it. It was funny to me. And it's not like, oh, if I listen to it, because I did listen to it on YouTube, and it was just the lyrics, and I was like, it's kind of funny, but it's not. But when I was in the theater watching the movie and seeing the scene, it was good, if that makes sense, you know?
I understand.
So, but there's parts of this movie that I thought was a little bit more. I liked it more. Now, this movie did have one other big problem that I almost forgot to mention. Actually,
Yeah.
they told the story, but when it got to the ending, they rushed it. Like, it lasted, like, the whole scene of, them finding out that Ariel's a mermaid, to, Ursula becoming big and getting a Triton and all that stuff, lasted maybe 15 minutes. The last 15 minutes of the movie, it was like, story, action sequence to tell the end, let's get to now. You know? It was like, whew. It was really fast. But I was also kind of okay with that because I knew how it ended. I kind of wished the Ursula thing at the end when she became big. I was kind of hoping that would last a little bit longer because I do remember when I was younger and watched The Little Mermaid, the ending scene was so cool. Like, I don't know what it was. That ending scene was more cooler than seeing Jafar at the end of Aladdin becoming big and, going all crazy. I don't know. There was just something about that I was just like, oh yeah, there it is. And I was actually looking forward to that. That was one thing I was looking forward to with this movie, and it happened too quickly, but I was like, okay. But yeah. So, should I give my score now?
Let's give your score. Out of a score of 5, we do a roll of 5 here. When it comes to theatrical releases, 5 is paying full price with say date night on a Saturday night. 4 would be watching paying for the matinee. 3 would be waiting for it to come out on Blu-ray or DVD. 2 would be watching it on Netflix. 1 would be watching it for free on Pluto TV, and 0 is not even trying. So, Chris, on a scale of 0 to 5, where would you put The Little Mermaid remake?
After all that I just said, I will give it I'll give it a 3.
You gave it a 3. It's worth owning, but it's not worth.
It's good for. I know that the kids would probably like it because, for some reason, Sebastian stole the movie. Whatever the fish's name, stole the movie. And even though it's annoying as heck, but Awkwafina doing the voice of the bird kind of.
I think the bird was Scuttle.
Scuttle.
I think so. Okay, let me give my quick counter response. I have not seen the film, and I have no desire to see the film. Primarily for let me give the ways. Disney has trained me that everything I knew about the studio was a lie. If I see the word Disney attached to a film, that's strike 1. Okay.
Wow.
I used to, and I mean 20 years ago, if I'd seen Disney on a film poster, I'd be like, okay, I'll try it, because that was when they were doing like Pirates of the Caribbean and stuff. And it was live action, and it was great. Okay. Now if I see Disney, I know this is going to be garbage. It's going to be hot filth. Strike 1. Okay, I'm not going to automatically disqualify it, but that's strike 1. It's a live action remake of an animated movie. Strike 2. None of these have had a reputation. They have not held up over the weeks of its theatrical release, much less over the years of its existence. None of these things have staying power. None. Okay, you're saying The Little Mermaid might actually be worth watching a second time. Basically, you're saying you should buy it on Blu-ray or something. You gave it a 3. You're saying it might be worth a second watch. This is the first of the live-action remakes where that would be the case, because none of them have been worth a second.
And that's why I'm just like feeling the way I am. It's like, it's weird because I was not expecting to feel this way.
You're so used to constant failure that when you see the rare success, you're just flummoxed by it.
Yes.
It's just like with the... you can't technically consider the Spider-Verse movies to be Marvel. They're more identified with Sony, because Spider-Man keeps to itself for the most part. But that's the other thing too. If you see Marvel, if you see Star Wars, if you see Pixar now, they suffer the same problem that Disney has. That name no longer means quality. It's no longer a guarantee. That guarantee has been violated so many times that you see it and it's an automatic strike. The third thing I'm going to get into, okay, this film has a reputation for being vulgar because of the race swapping involved.
Yeah.
And it's got lousy CGI, Okay, the character models I've seen of the crab and the fish and the bird and all the little fishies in the sea, it all looks like crap.
Because they want to make it look more realistic.
This looks like something you would have done maybe 20 years ago online using one of the Adobe, not Photoshop, but Adobe Movie Maker, Windows Movie Maker. You might have used a rudimentary CGI, okay? This film, the reason I have no desire to watch it, and I gotta admit, I didn't think you'd give it 3. I figured this would be one of those one and dones. The main reason I'm not going to watch this film is that I know the story.
Yeah.
I've seen this story.
Yeah.
And this is something a lot of online critics are missing. This film is not meant for us.
Yeah.
This film's not for us because we grew up watching The Little Mermaid in movie theaters. We've seen The Little Mermaid repeatedly on DVD. We remember The Little Mermaid TV show. We've seen. You remember The Little Mermaid TV show? Okay.
I watched that.
We have had all this exposure to The Little Mermaid, but all that exposure kind of dwindled out when Frozen became a thing. When Frozen became a thing, they redefined the Disney princess model. You now have an entire generation who don't know who these characters are. At least that's what Disney thinks. Which is why the remake of Aladdin sucked so hard. The remake of you said you liked the remake of The Jungle Book. I don't really consider that
Well, okay.
Disney.
Now, first of all, Jungle Book. This was done by Jon Favreau.
Mm-hmm.
The Jungle Book movie I thought was really, really good. And because it was really good and successful, somebody at Disney said, hey, let's turn all of our movies into live action. Now, I will also say when it comes to The Jungle Book, I actually, even though I love the animated movie, the 1992 with Sam Neill and Haley Atwell and Jason Scott Lee, I think his name is.
The live action remake they did.
That was really good.
Really
good.
But honestly, the original animated movie was inferior. It was not very good.
No.
But my biggest complaint about the Little Mermaid remake. This is a film by focus group. Okay. The diversity is there. The equity is there. The inclusivity is there. The environmental scoring is there, the social scoring is there, the whatever. You can tell it's been focus grouped to death. And so, yes, it's not meant for me, it's meant for a younger generation, and I feel bad for that generation. This is what your, quote, entertainers, end quote, think will be entertaining for a young audience. I still say, actually, you know what? I'm going to take it back. I'm not going to recommend either Little Mermaid movie anymore. Okay? I'm not going to do it because it's already 30 years past its date. Kids, if you want animated movies that will reflect who you are, your generation, and what you'll be going through as you age, you're not going to find it at Disney. You're not going to find it at Warner. You're either going to find it at Universal through Illumination Entertainment, or you're going to find it through Sony Animation. Which means you're going to find it in Shrek. Finally got to watch the Puss in Boots, The Last Wish.
Oh, did you?
I finally got to see it. 5.
Really?
Easy 5.
I have not seen it
Easy
yet.
5 for that.
I really want to watch it.
Remember all the gushing we've done over the character development in the Spider-Verse movies.
Yeah.
That one applied to Puss in Boots, who is really a flake. Honestly, he's a flake character, but he is forced to grow the heck up. It is a fantastic film. So that is where kids will be finding modern animation sources. It's going to be coming through Universal and Illumination and through Sony Pictures and I would imagine Lord & Miller, because they have proved Lord & Miller right now, okay, the guys doing Spider-Verse and Lego movies, They're giving me the closest thing to a Pixar vibe that I'm feeling in animation today. Those two guys, more than anybody else, and Pixar was a team effort.
Yeah.
John Lasseter, back when John Lasseter was there, he led them, but it was a team pull. These two guys, they are leading story development, and they are the future. Pixar is on its death throes right now because Disney just fired 70 animators over there.
Pixar just needs to do their own thing. Just go on their own.
Disney has murdered Pixar. Disney has murdered its own animation department. Disney is murdering Lucasfilm. Disney is murdering Marvel. They're strangling everything.
What's that movie coming out about the Kraken?
Ruby Gillman, Teenage Kraken.
Like, we saw the trailer for this, and I will say this makes the second time I've seen the trailer. It doesn't look interesting to me. I don't really want to watch it. But then I saw, the people who did Shrek, the people that did this, and all that. And I'm just like, this might actually be good.
That's DreamWorks. That's DreamWorks SKG.
This might actually surprise me.
I've been mentioning Illumination Entertainment. They do Despicable Me. They did another one not that long ago. DreamWorks SKG they did the Shrek movies and stuff, and Puss in Boots.
Yeah.
And so those three studios right there, kids, you're not going to find anything you want to see over at Disney. You're not going to see it at Warner. You're not going to see it at Fox. You're not going to see it at any of these. You're going to stick with Universal and Sony, Columbia. And you will get but if you stick with releases from those two studios for right now, three studios, I forgot, Illumination, DreamWorks, and Sony Animation. Stick with those three studios and you will get a full education in storytelling and animation. So that's why I cannot for the life of me recommend The Little Mermaid. I know you gave your best college try, but even you could only give it a 3, which was honestly more than I thought it would be worth.
Here's the thing, though, okay? I am not going to tell you to go watch The Little Mermaid. I'll tell you to go watch the Spider-Man movie.
Yes.
But
that's the difference between a 3 and a 4.
Here's the thing. And like here lately, when it comes to movies, there's a lot of movies that you can automatically tell is going to be good. Like for instance, when Dungeons and Dragons came out, I was like, you know what? My instinct when I saw the trailer, I was like, this looks like it's going to be a really fun movie. And I went to watch it because I thought I'm going to have fun watching this movie because it just gives off the fun vibe. And then I walked out there going like, wow, this is like one of the top 5 movies of this year so far because this movie is actually way better than what I actually thought it would be. And you said the same thing with the Super Mario Brothers, that you said that this seems like it's going to be the surprise hit that nobody thought it would, and guess what? It was.
It is now. Super Mario Brothers, quick update, Super Mario Brothers global gross is second in animation only to Frozen 2. And they're about to eat their lunch.
Exactly.
So it's one of those things where, guess what? The effort counts. Storytelling still counts.
Yeah.
Not just sending a message. So
yeah. So it's like with us, it's like if we see something, we automatically be like, okay, this might actually be really good. And then sometimes you just cannot. Like I've never seen a Wes Anderson movie before, but he has a movie coming out soon, something City, Asteroid City, something like that.
Astro City.
And I actually got to admit, I want to watch this movie. For some reason, it does something to me that I'm just like, I kind of want to watch this movie.
If you've never checked out the Astro City books, you should, because it's brand new. It's an entirely different way entirely different take on superhero storytelling.
Oh,
because it looks at it from more of it's a superhero movie. Yes.
It does not give off the superhero vibe.
No, it doesn't give off a superhero vibe. It's not supposed to. It's supposed to be more of a realistic take on you want to talk about powers and the boys and how realistic all of that's just it's violence porn is what it is, okay? All those things. Astro City is an honest, intellectual take on the superhero genre. It actually Because instead of taking a universally critical view of the superhero genre, like, say, Watchmen did, or The Dark Knight Returns, Astro City shows that there are reasons why superheroes have an appeal. And boy, we just wandered completely off base.
Yeah,
this is
but
supposed to be a Little Mermaid review.
But anyways, our point
we'll
is that it's like sometimes trailers will give off this energy to you that's like, I might want to check this out.
Which is the whole purpose of the trailer to begin with. Right.
So, again, with The Little Mermaid, I wanted to go to at least give a good laugh because I was bored. So I figured I'd give it a shot. I ended up liking it way more than what I should. So, basically, I'm not telling you to go watch this movie because it's not bad. But it's not the best you'll ever see either. So, if this is something that you're like, I'll wait for Disney Plus because I'm sure it's going to be on there a whole lot sooner than what you may think. If you want to wait for Disney Plus, give it a shot. If you just might be slightly interested in seeing if it's any good, or if you have kids and they want to go watch it, then go watch it. But yeah, to me, it's a 3.
This will be our tagline. It's so good, it's adequate. It's so okay, it's adequate.
There you go. Yes.
So, Chris has finally run out of steam, I think. So,
yeah, my voice is starting.
And his voice is starting to crackly. So until next time, Spike.
Chris.
And we'll keep on geeking out. You do too.